We continue our Wolves Road to the Pros segment with Stefan Noesen. Growing up in Texas, you don't see a lot of players from Plano, Texas in the National Hockey League, but you made it. What was it like growing up in the largest state in America?
Definitely a football-driven, baseball-driven, kind of feel. I played kind of both growing up. Didn't last football very long. Was actually a pretty good baseball player. But kind of growing up playing the odd sport, you were spread out from all your friends through hockey, and so that was probably the hardest part growing up, was not being in the same schools as guys that you actually saw on a daily basis.
Yeah.
And not really getting to know a whole lot of people at your school in general. So that was probably overall the hardest part about growing up there. But you can't beat the weather wearing shorts in the winter.
Mom Jamie is from Texas, Dad Glenn from Chicago, but went to Texas on a basketball scholarship. You also have an older sister who's a vice president of human resources. What was the family dynamic playing in Texas, because that's an awful lot of travel?
Yeah, weekends consisted of traveling to Michigan, Chicago, Canada, all over the U.S. To go play in tournaments whenever we could. The competition wasn't the greatest, so it's we had one really good team that we kind of stacked together, and we all kind of came together at the age of 12 and finally actually played in our own age group. Most guys that were higher up in your age groups played a couple years up, and that's kind of what I did growing up. Kind of hence the not seeing anybody whenever everyone's 2 or 3 years older than you, but it was fun. It was time consuming just with the travel and doing all that, but my parents were able to make it work, and I'm grateful for that.
Your great-grandfather from Canada teaches you to skate backwards in the living room, and you get to play your first competitive hockey, and because you're the only one that can skate backwards, you're pretty disappointed to become a defenseman?
Yeah, I knew I played defense for a little bit, but I really never played D. I kind of just played offense, and we had just kind of a rover on the ice. Still do that actually all the way up until I was probably 12 or 13, and still was doing it whenever we needed to keep some other guys on the ice. And we're a little thin on the back end back in the day, and it was fun. It was something that you got to learn everything. I actually know I wanted to be a goalie at one point, and I think everybody wanted to be a goalie at some point in time until you actually got the pads on, and then you realize it wasn't as fun as you once thought.
Yeah. All right, so after you decide to go the junior route, coming full circle, Ali Vellucci, our social media coordinator, her dad is your coach, Mike Vellucci, and you end up getting drafted in the NHL in the very first round. How helpful was Mike?
Mike's done a lot for me over the years, from kind of busting my ass to getting me a job, to doing literally almost anything you can almost picture a father to do. When I first was with Plymouth, you're 16, you're still learning, your first year living on your own, and you mess up sometimes, and I messed up a lot more than some, and but he still believed in me, and that first year playing juniors, being a rookie, going through that process and learning, he guided me.
Let's go to the beginning of your pro career, because it got off to a terrible start. Major knee injury, and then the following year you lacerate your Achilles. How tough was it to get to where you've gotten so far in over 200 games in the NHL?
Oh yeah, that first year was tough for me. I was heartbroken. I thought I was done, and then my mentality kind of clicked over and went to, all right, how quick can we get this thing back? Because they said, it could be anywhere from 6 months to a year, and my mind went 6 months. And that's just how my mind operates. It's how quick you can do it, how strong you can be, and how fast you can get things done. And as long as it's done the right way. And I went to grind mode. And so the first few months was really hard. I eventually got through it, and then the next year comes around, and I'm off to a really good start, really good summer training, knees starting to feel good. And then just a freak accident, and I get my Achilles cut, and that was like all right, now I'm mad. Like now I'm just like, what is going on? Like, why is this happening now? Like, but then that lasted about 2 weeks, and then it went back to, all right, let's go. Now it's grind time. And tried to get back as fast as I can. Was able to come back in 4 months.
Wow. It's been awesome to watch you play here in Chicago, and thanks for sharing your road to the pros.
Yeah, thanks.